How to write the perfect power system. Before we address that question, it's important to first define what a power system actually is. A power system, often referred to as a magic system, usually describes the rules, limitations, and abilities that define the magic or power within a story. For example, bending serves as the power system in Avatar: The Last Airbender. But what is its importance? A power system is not just there to make the fights look more spectacular. Rather, it can be the single most important plot device in a story, serving a deeper purpose as a storytelling tool. In fact, sometimes it can be the central theme of the plot. For example, in Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, the main theme centers around the concept of equivalent exchange. Through its power system, the narrative raises profound questions, such as what is the price of a human soul, and uses the same system to answer and expand upon those questions. However, this practice isn't always successful. Sometimes, even power systems that seem excellent in concept can fall apart during execution. At other times, a magic system might have a shallow premise with mildly explored rules and still end up working effectively for the story. So after studying a concerning amount of fictional sciences from a dozen different mediums, I tried to write the perfect power system to the best of my ability by learning from the best. The idea of a perfect power system probably differs from person to person. For some, the vague and mysterious nature of magic in Lord of the Rings is perfect, or for others, the excessive nuance and exposition in Cursed Energy are perfect. But for me, the perfect power system would be a combination of three fundamental elements that take lessons from all its predecessors. I'll go over all three of them one by one while elaborating on my point using the proper examples. The first fundamental would be nuanced structure. This shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. Nuance gives something depth, and structure creates the foundation, which helps build something consistently without issues. I think the perfect example of this fundamental would be Nen from Hunter x Hunter. Nen is widely regarded as the best power system in animanga, and for good reason. It's extremely nuanced with a well-thought-out structure. Essentially, everything this power system is capable of is explored in depth, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. I'll start by explaining the basics of it. In Hunter x Hunter, every living thing has some amount of life energy that leaks out in the form of aura, unnoticed and uncontrollably. Nen is the practice that helps one use this leaking aura, and therefore, the wizards in this story are called Nen users. And every Nen user's aura is divided into 5 categories, which are enhancers, users who enhance their physical traits; emitters, users who emit their aura like a projectile; transmuters, users who use their aura to mimic other things; manipulators, users who impose their aura on other objects and people; conjurers, users who create something out of nothing with aura. These 5 categories are limited and interdependent. While everyone can use all 5 types, almost no one can fully master more than one. Even so, users can combine multiple types of Nen to create a unique Nen technique, and these Nen techniques are mostly exclusive to their creator, as they are often based on the user's personality. There is far more nuance to Nen, but you should get the gist of it. With such a detailed structure, you can imagine how fantastical the usage of Nen can be, and how much potential it opens up for battle scenarios and even storytelling as a whole. But it still has a problem that I cannot afford to have in a perfect power system. Remember when I said Nen has 5 types? Yeah, I lied. Nen actually has 6 types, with the 6th being called specialization. This type is a big problem. I just explained how much nuance and depth the rest of the 5 Nen types have, right? The explanation behind the 6th, specialization type, boils down to it just works. The first 5 categories are borderline science fields, and the 6th one follows essentially no rules and acts as a cop-out against the previously enforced limits. The great thing about the first 5 types is that they are limited and finite, which is what makes them special. But then this 6th wheel just comes and does everything the other 5 can't for no reason other than plot. It's like the worst way to mix a hard power system full of rules and explanations with a soft power system that is riddled with vagueness and mysteries. This also leads to an overdependence on just one type, which makes the first 5 types feel less important, while, ironically, not making the special type feel special enough. This brings me to my second fundamental need for the perfect power system: harmony of contradiction. Now, as much as I hate the special type of Nen users, I think special abilities that are uniquely different from the general powers are necessary for the perfect power system. So I found a solution to this problem. Imagine if we separated the specialization Nen category from the other 5 categories and turned it into its own power system. We also ensure that these 2 separate power systems harmonize with each other through contradiction. Let me explain what I mean by this through an example. Let's look at Devil Fruits and Haki from One Piece. Haki is essentially the One Piece version of Nen. It's said to be the manifestation of willpower, whereas the other half of the power system called Devil Fruits are the manifestations of desire. They are special fruits that can be eaten to gain unique abilities specific to their consumers. These abilities don't abide by the same rules and explanations as Haki, similar to how the specialization type works in Nen. But as Devil Fruits are an entirely different power system, they are far more quote-unquote special. And as Haki doesn't just need to overly depend on a single type, its overall importance is heightened as well. This solves both issues we had with Nen. But that's not all. These two power systems synchronize with each other through contradiction. What I mean by this is that Haki's main purpose is to negate devil fruit powers. The willpower is supposed to suppress desire. It's essentially like a fight between a hard power system filled with rules and explanations centered around balance versus a soft power system filled with mysteries and uniqueness centered around individuality. The harmony among these two power systems is what makes them the best. Now imagine if Haki had the nuanced structure of Nen. It would essentially make the general half of the two power systems near perfect, and through the harmony of contradiction, they would always stay balanced. But what about the special half? Are devil fruits already perfect enough to compete with the combined quality of Haki and Nen? I don't think so, because I just happen to have a very nitty-gritty critique with a specific devil fruit ability. I am talking about the Opi-Opi Nomi. The Opi-Opi Nomi, used by Trafalgar Law, is one of the most powerful devil fruit abilities in One Piece. Law can create a spatial barrier called the Room, which is similar to how an open domain expansion works in Jujutsu Kaisen. Inside this room, he can operate on anything as he pleases. He essentially has full control over space, matter, and even souls within his room. His best use for this ability is to act as a doctor. He can operate on anyone with perfect precision in his spatial room. In fact, his precision is so great that he can even remove the side effects of drug overdose from multiple kids' bodies by chopping them up into pieces and removing the corruption from inside of their bodies without causing any pain or damage to the kids. But this creates a problem. How can Law, who is just a simple human in terms of his mental capacity, be able to operate with precision on a molecular level? If he is getting that power from his devil fruit, then that would make his precision and quick thinking way too OP. And this could create many problems that come with an overpowered character, which may lead to plot holes. This exact problem is explored a bit in My Hero Academia, where Momo, a character with a slightly similar ability to create matter from her body, finds it difficult to create objects with complex structures due to their complex molecular foundation. My Hero and One Piece attempt to circumvent this problem by giving these types of characters a limitation in knowledge. Like, Momo has to first know the molecular formula of an object before being able to create it, and Law needs to possess the knowledge of a doctor to perform his operations. However, this alone still doesn't account for or justify the inhuman precision and rapid decision-making required for these abilities. Interestingly though, there is another character with a similar ability who sidesteps this issue entirely, thanks to a simple yet highly effective solution. If your human character can't perform an inhuman task, just give them an inhuman companion who can instead. But rather than referring to this companion as an inhuman entity, let's use a much more familiar term, a stand. The third fundamental, external power. That's right, I'm talking about stands, more specifically Josuke from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 4. His ability to manipulate matter in any way he desires doesn't suffer from the same problems as Law or Momo. Unlike the other two, the requirement for impossible levels of precision doesn't make Josuke overpowered because the actual execution of his ability is managed by a separate entity, his stand, Crazy Diamond. This power system design is brilliant because the stand, being a distinct entity, can possess all the precision needed for its specific inherent ability without affecting other forms of precision, since the stand operates independently. Moreover, just because a stand excels in one ability doesn't mean it's equally proficient in other areas, unrelated to its domain. Therefore, in regards to this specific example, even if Crazy Diamond can have impossible levels of precision in restructuring matter, it doesn't necessarily have to translate to the stand being able to precisely shoot an arrow to the moon and accurately hit a bullseye on its surface. It doesn't even mean Crazy Diamond has some superb medical or chemistry knowledge either. It just means he is instinctively aware of matter at an atomic level and henceforth capable of accurately manipulating it, completely bypassing the issue faced by Law and Momo. In this way, stands provide an elegant solution to the challenge of overly complex abilities. When paired with the concept of devil fruits, the creative possibilities between the two are virtually limitless. Conveniently, stands could fit seamlessly into the lore of One Piece as well. Let me elaborate. Devil fruits in One Piece are known to have a will of their own, separate from the user. When the will of a devil fruit aligns with the user's will, the fruit undergoes an awakening, essentially granting the user a significant power boost. But what if in our hypothetical perfect power system, this awakening manifested as a personification of the devil fruit's will, essentially a stand? This idea would add an entirely new layer to the power system, where an awakened devil fruit would grant the user a stand representing its will, making the sum of these three power systems the perfect foundation for the perfect power system. To summarize this amalgamation, I want my perfect power system to be divided in two, a general half and a special half. The special half should be abilities specific to a user, obtained via some kind of ritual like how eating a fruit is a ritual for devil fruit abilities. Additionally, these abilities should come with a cost, the cost being the possibility of your will being taken over by the will of the source of your special powers, which may lead to a loss of control. But if you manage to resist the special will's corruption and somehow befriend or domesticate it, the special will shall awaken in the form of a personified inhuman companion like a stand for the user. And the general half should be a key-like soft magic system accessible to everyone. It should have the nuanced structure of Nen and the properties of negation of Haki. The general half should be a counter to the special half, working against its unique and special abilities, like how Haki works against and also with devil fruits. That's it. This amalgamation of these three different magic systems is my beautiful ideal foundation for the perfect power system. But that's the thing. This is only the foundation, not the whole power system. It's because we could only cover 3 fundamentals when in reality there are a total of 5 fundamentals. The next 2 fundamentals are missing, and they just happen to be the most important ones, as they discuss how the perfect power system should progress and interconnect. Unfortunately, this video is already too long, so it is impossible to discuss the entire progression, interconnection, and conclusion in detail. Please give us, let's say, about 1,000 likes so we can fund another video and continue this discussion. If we post part 2, click here to watch it. We have tons of more theoretical and analytical content coming up as well, so be sure to subscribe to keep up with us. We will continue to produce high-quality videos about anime, manga, and much more. Until then, thanks for watching. Peace.